A warning has gone out in Nottinghamshire about the dangers of scam mail after 6 vulnerable people were bombarded with 1/4 of a tonne of malicious post. Trading Standards officers have now alerted 400 other residents who could also be on the scammers' mailing list.
The criminals behind the scam persuade their victims to part with their money in the hope of winning competitions or getting special deals. Our correspondent Peter Byrne reports.
Now, I know we're getting closer to Christmas, but these 2 sacks definitely do not contain goodies from Santa. Oh, just look at this lot. This is all scam mail. You can imagine the stuff, competitions, cash prizes, that sort of thing. And all of this came from just one house in Nottinghamshire. In fact, recently, Nottinghamshire Trading Standards officers have collected around 228 kilograms of scam mail. That's the equivalent of 80 bricks of scam mail from just 6 homes in the county. Now that's bad enough, but those 6 homes, the people living in them, were all vulnerable. They could be elderly people with dementia or perhaps somebody with mental health issues. Well, I'm joined now by Sharon May from Trading Standards. Sharon, these people you think were deliberately targeted?
We often find that vulnerable people are receiving lots of unwanted post, and yes, some of it we believe they are being targeted by some of these organisations or criminals.
And that's shocking, the sheer volume of it, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Sometimes we go into some properties and there's quite a quantity of post there, and what we do know now is that when people reply to one of these letters, they often then receive more as they're identified as someone that will reply to the post.
And what effect is it having on the victims? It's miserable for them, isn't it?
It is, and some of the letters, those sometimes from the clairvoyants or the psychics, predict harm coming towards the person unless they pay a fee.
OK, Sharon, thanks so much indeed. Well, this isn't a new problem. You may recall a case almost 10 years ago now of an elderly woman from Derby, Jessica Look, who was bombarded with this stuff, and she died in 2007, and her daughter Marilyn, who's from Chesterfield, is convinced that the stress of it all contributed to her death. And she started a campaign called Think Jessica, which is designed to raise awareness of this issue. And we spoke to her. She said that this is evidence that perhaps the authorities aren't doing their job properly, and this isn't actually being tackled as well as it could be. Well, I'm joined now by Alice Grice from the County Council. Councillor Grice, the charge is that you and the Royal Mail aren't doing enough to tackle this problem. What do you say to that?
Well, Peter, we have been working with the Royal Mail through the National Scams Hub to get them to identify this kind of mail coming to houses. We're also investing £77,000 in Nottinghamshire to take on more people to do the vital work that Sharon does, working with vulnerable people in their own homes, with their families, and getting protection put in around them so they're not falling prey to these scammers.
Alice, thanks so much indeed. Well, we spoke to the Royal Mail as well, and they said that they would never knowingly deliver this scam mail to households, and they're working, they say, with the government and Trading Standards. They've also trained thousands of their staff, they say, postmen and women, on how to spot scam mail and how to spot vulnerable customers who may be at risk from it. But clearly, this would suggest that this is a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. Peter Byrne, ITV News, Mansfield.